Kier Starmer's position on this conflict has largely mirrored Rishi Sunak's, but his intra-party problems began 2 weeks ago when he said this.
Israel does have that right to defend herself, and Hamas bears responsibility.
A siege is appropriate? Cutting off power, cutting off water?
Well, I think that Israel does have that right. It is an ongoing situation. Obviously, everything should be done within international law.
The suggestion that Israel has the right to withhold power and water from Gaza led to a backlash amongst some of his MPs and from a broad minority of them. He later clarified his comments, saying he meant the country had a right to self-defence. But then Sir Keir arguably made the situation worse with a hastily arranged trip to a Cardiff mosque and by marking it with this tweet. It went down so badly that last night the South Wales Islamic Centre said Sir Keir had gravely misrepresented the nature of his visit. Now, some argue all of this may be why he avoided the topic of the Israel-Gaza conflict at Prime Minister's questions, but one of his frontbenchers didn't.
This is collective punishment of the Palestinian people in Gaza for crimes they did not commit. How many more innocent Palestinians must die before this Prime Minister calls for humanitarian ceasefire?
Yeah. A shadow minister calling for a ceasefire, which of course is not Labour policy, is a little awkward for the party leadership. Yasmin Qureshi remains in her job, and after that session she was among a group of Muslim MPs who met with the Labour leader. Now, the party won't confirm who attended, but two of the people in the room said it was these 12 plus a Labour peer and Starmer's Chief of Staff, Sue Gray. And while one MP present was pretty positive,
I think the meeting was good. I think we called, as Muslim MPs, we called the meeting. The leadership, both in terms of Sir Keir and Angela, both listened to us.
Others had slightly contrasting views. Another MP attending told me that Starmer appeared to be listening, but it's too little too late. The horse has already bolted. They said Labour should be the home of Muslims. It's seen as a betrayal of our values. And when I asked this source, this MP, whether anything was achieved by that meeting, they replied, not at all, we'll regroup tomorrow. The group's key asked that Labour back a ceasefire was not agreed to, but the party's position has softened today, with a new statement emphasising the urgent aid emergency and Sir Keir's support for humanitarian pauses. One MP, a senior MP, told me tonight damage has been done, but that is now gradually being fixed.
I think we're moving to the right position. I think our statements now are beginning to equate the loss of civilian life on all sides as absolutely wrong, that it's wrong that there should be any blockade of Gaza. It's right that we should now be pressing hard to get humanitarian aid into Gaza and more of it.
But there is not a situation yet where Labour are calling for a ceasefire.
We've almost got there. We've called for a humanitarian pause, which echoes what the United States, President Biden's administration called for last night. That's a good step forward. I want to go further to say, yes, we need a ceasefire.
As for speculation, we could see front bench resignations. One involved told me that was nonsense, although they used a slightly different word. So far, those choosing to walk have been councillors, not parliamentarians. But if the unrest spreads, and that does look unlikely tonight, it could be a problem for the Labour leader.